Hello everyone, Melody here, Mama of 4 in our blended family of 6. Welcome to Homeschool Happy Hour, where we talk all things homeschool, homeschool life, homeschool curriculum, and resources. And today we're going to be talking about homeschool privilege. If you are new here, before we go any further, please take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel so you can follow along and help support this channel, which supports my family and hopefully is an inspiring voice for secular homeschoolers and non-secular homeschoolers out there. My goal is for all of you to know that homeschooling is possible for anyone who wants to make it happen, which brings us to today's topic. Something that I've been hearing about lately, frequently, is this concept of privilege and how that relates to homeschooling. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the political debate of privilege in general or why we're using this word so much for everything all the time. But I am going to talk about how that word is being used related to homeschoolers and my thoughts on that. For starters, I would like to define privilege. What is it? What does it mean? And I don't have my definition right in front of me. I should have written it down so I could be very precise here, but I will pop it up specifically. Essentially, it is to have an advantage that is not available to somebody else, okay? Now, if that is the definition we're looking at for privilege, then I don't believe that homeschoolers are inherently privileged. Like, I don't believe my ability to homeschool is because I am privileged. I believe my ability to homeschool is because I have chosen to prioritize that in my life. Other homeschoolers have chosen to prioritize that in their lives. Homeschooling is available, legally speaking, to everyone in the United States of America and in numerous countries out of the United States of America. To suggest that it would be privilege within the United States would say, like, only people who make an income of ... can homeschool. Then you would say, okay, well, these people are privileged because this is available to them and it's not available to other people. Where in fact, in the United States, anyone can homeschool. Now, will homeschooling impact you financially? Yes. Will homeschooling be impacted by your finances? Yes. Is a person who has more money more able, capable to homeschool than a person who has less money? No. It's a choice. You have a choice of a lifestyle. I have homeschooled. When I started, we homeschooled and we lived well below the poverty level. I'm talking low. We very easily could have been receiving food stamps and all kinds of government assistance based on how low our income was. We did not receive any government assistance. We lived a very frugal, very modest lifestyle based on our income. And when I say frugal and modest, I mean I lived in a yurt, no indoor toiletry or anything for a number of years. And guess what? We still homeschooled. I had very little money towards curriculum, very little, if any. I did not have the resources to travel or to take my kids to amazing field trips. We still homeschooled, and our kids still received an amazing education at that point in time. My finances have changed significantly. I do not live that lifestyle anymore due to choice and circumstance, but it has not impacted my ability to continue homeschooling. Now, is it easier to homeschool when you have financial resources? Absolutely. But it does not impact your ability to homeschool. Does that make sense? Are we seeing the difference? Now, do I feel like homeschooling is a privilege? Yes, I do. And I saw another homeschooler on Instagram. I wish I could remember who it was because I'm going to borrow their words. I didn't put these words together all by myself. This isn't my original thought, although I have the same thought. Does that make sense? Not trying to plagiarize here. But basically she said, I am not privileged because I can homeschool, but I am privileged to be able to homeschool. Basically, homeschooling is a privilege. And I am grateful that I get to spend this time with my kids. But the ability to homeschool is a choice. I can choose how I live my life. I can choose what we put into things financially. I can choose whether or not to work. I work part-time as a homeschooler. I know people that work full-time and homeschool. So being able to be a stay-at-home parent full-time, that will impact how you homeschool, but it does not impact whether or not you can homeschool. Again, a choice, priorities. A person might say, well, I can't homeschool because we don't make enough money. Maybe. Or do you not want to live the lifestyle that that homeschooling would require you to live because it would change your finances? Or you don't want to work full-time and balance homeschooling within that. And that's understandable. But if you want to do something, and if it is a priority for you, homeschooling included, you figure out how to do that. It's not something that is unavailable to you, which means people who choose to homeschool and choose to lay out their priorities, they don't have a privilege that you don't have. They've made choices that you don't want to make. A couple things to consider when we're talking about homeschooling and privilege and how those work together. One, whether or not you're part of a two-parent home or are a single parent. Again, is it a privilege or is it an advantage? I would rather say if you are a part of a two-parent home, assuming you are a part of a healthy, happy, productive two-parent home, then you perhaps have an advantage over somebody who is single parenting. If you are a part of a two-parent home that is a situation that is abusive or unhealthy, you're very unhappy with each other, then you probably don't have an advantage over somebody who's single parenting. Costs compared to public school, homeschool, it does not have to be expensive to homeschool. I have two kids in public school, or more accurately, I had two kids in public school. One has graduated. I've got two kids that homeschool. And I can tell you from personal experience that the cost is quite potentially comparative. I can homeschool some years for less than that it costs me for public school. By the time I get all the different things that I'm having to throw into their public school situation. Can I spend more money homeschooling? Absolutely, I can if I choose to, but it's not a requirement. I don't have to. Education, no matter what form it takes, is a right, not a privilege. As homeschoolers, we're simply choosing to have that education at home. Somebody somewhere is going to get offended by my words here, and I want you to know I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just sharing my opinion on this matter. There are plenty of homeschoolers that do think they are privileged because they get to homeschool, and that's their opinion. That is fine. They are welcome to it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're wrong. Who's to say? But this is my outlook on the situation. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are you privileged in that you get to homeschool, or is homeschooling just a privilege that you are enjoying because of the choices you made? There are so many comparisons I could make right now, but I have a feeling if I jumped into the comparison metaphor situation, I'm probably just going to offend more people. So I'm just gonna keep it simple and stick with, we're just talking about homeschooling here. That is all I have for you guys today, and I will catch you next time.